Hey, this is Preston Van Winkle, and you're listening to Bourbon Podcast.
All right, I don't know what you guys brought in, but it's an unusual bottle.
Cool bottle. Right?
It's very cool.
Very cool bottle.
Show the people the bottle.
Let me see. By the way, we're actually we may try to put these on video. Not sure. We went to Hair and Makeup, but it didn't help us.
It's got great packaging.
Beautiful packaging, yeah.
So, Joe, what the hell is this?
Well, I'm going to defer to Kyle because he brought the bottle.
I'll start and then I'll throw. Yeah, so we recently interviewed Prav Saraf, who's incredible, and please listen to that interview. This is a barrel pick he did with Bhakta spirits. I mean, the story's fascinating. This is not a bourbon, right? This is not a rye. This is a blended whiskey. I'm going to let Joe take us through the details, but it's fascinating. And the guy Peter Bhakta, who founded Bhakta Spirits, he's got a history with Whistle Pig, sold out of that. Sounds like it was somewhat contentious. I don't know enough to get into that, but it happened in 2019. So Whistle Pig, I would say one of the most notable kind of new school rye producers, right? I mean, or rye, maybe producer is a big word, but rye brands.
Yeah.
Got out of that and founded this. And now, they are sourcing and blending super interesting rare spirits. This is a blend of a couple different spirits that, we haven't seen anywhere else. So I got this through Prav. I was just telling you guys off air. I ordered, normally, for folks who listen to the interview, if you get in the group, if you order something from Prav, it comes right away. And I don't know why in this particular case, I'd ordered this in October. We're here in January and it showed up like last week. And I was like, I don't even remember ordering this. What is this? And I opened it and had a sip and I'm like, well, that is super interesting. This is different. So I'm fascinated to hear what you guys think. Joe, give us a little bit more.
You got bottle 72 of 72.
I know. That's pretty cool, right?
There's only 72 bottles off that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I got the
single barrel
final one. Yeah, give it to us, Joe.
I will try because it's a short history. So like Kyle was saying, Raj Peter Bhakta is the founder of Bhakta Spirits, and he was the force behind Whistle Pig whiskey. And initially Whistle Pig, much like Smooth Ambler and High West, they came out of the gate and sourced some beautiful rye whiskeys out of MGP. And so the Whistle Pig 10-year-old went on to be, I think it probably got Whiskey of the Year that early on. And then they did a 12-year-old marriage where they took the 10-year-old and they finished it off in 3 types of barrels, and then they reblended it back together. Madeira, port, and I can't remember the third.
I didn't remember that.
And so they blended it back together, and it was just a gorgeous whiskey. But at some point when the well ran dry, they had to go find whiskey at Whistle Pig, and they were sourcing out of Canada. And that's where I think, you'll get a little divergence amongst your Whistle Pig fans, which is, what am I drinking here? Am I drinking Canadian whiskey, a blend of Canadian and MGP? Am I drinking a blend of what they're distilling for young Vermont whiskey with MGP, with Canadian?
Yeah.
And at some point, he wound up in 2019 selling his stake. And he went on a sabbatical after he was done, apparently. And he decided he was going to do new discoveries of world spirits. And what he did was, more than likely, because of the type of barrels that he procured from Armagnac and Calvados, he went to apparently Condom, France, where he unearthed and he acquired a miraculous cellar of ancient Armagnac dating back to 1868. So what you have are these. He came up with another great idea, right? Which is he's going to procure these Armagnac and Calvados and other types of barrels that are ancient. And what happens if you finish bourbon and rye into those ancient barrels? And if you were to do a little blend of it, right? what would it taste like? And can I produce? And they had essentially 4 pillars that they decided they were going to go with. Okay, first of all, in 2020, after he, left Whistle Pig, they started a campus in Vermont called Bhakta Griswold, and basically on that campus they would blend in their laboratory and they would bottle. Okay, so they're not producing any whiskey. They had 4 pillars that they stuck to, that what they were going to produce was going to be rare, it was going to be exquisite, it was going to have value based on history and a real purpose. And so this was their brand as they were kind of going forward. And so when you think about Bhakta whiskey right now, that is the background. I will say they got a couple awards I wasn't aware of. That in the Bhakta 1973 Armagnac, which I'm assuming that means that is a 1973 Armagnac barrel.
Yeah, Purdue. Yeah.
Was #1 spirit in the world. And they did a Bhakta 1990 rum, which was christened #1 rum of the year. And they were gold in the USA Spirits in 2023. So they've got a little resume here.
Yeah, interesting. Prof was talking about rum, right?
Yep.
When we were asking about it in the future. And I mean, my guess is their 1990 rum was like a pure 1990 rum, right? They didn't do anything to it. It was probably like a barrel. I mean, I'm not shocked.
Yeah. So they're going out and unearthing these barrels, right? They're orphaned, I'll call them for a better word.
Well, that's when you said that, the first thing that popped in my mind was orphan barrel.
Yeah.
Except that the barrels are empty, right? Yeah. So, but I do find it kind of unique, and not taking fresh port barrels or Madeira barrels or whatever. On this one, he's taking it. That's what they did at Whistle Pig with that 12. He's going a step further by saying, I'm going to go out and find these barrels across the world, like these rum and, Armagnac, Calvados, and we'll go ahead and finish them. So what we're having today, from what I can understand, this is a 1928 vintage, and it's the oldest vintage in the blend. It contains, apparently, 1941, 1962, and 1973 barrels, fusing ancient French Armagnacs and Calvados with a 5-year-old rye whiskey. Now, we don't have information on where that rye whiskey comes from. I'm assuming it could be an MGP since it's younger.
Guessing, yeah. But so the older, the 28, 41, 62, and 70 is likely the Armagnac, right? I mean, maybe the Calvados is that old too. I'm less familiar with Calvados than I am Armagnac.
And actually it says here that it was sourced.
Armagnac?
Armagnac is a region of France. So when you think about cognac, Cognac is also a region. There's a town called Armagnac, Cognac. I was just there. I drove right through it. I wanted to stop, but it was a Sunday. It wasn't open. The main distillery. So what you have is
you were driving through Armagnac.
I was.
No. What else? What else would you do on a Sunday, Ben?
I flew.
Record podcasts or drive through Armagnac.
I flew into Barcelona and we rented a car, Anna and I, and we decided we were going to drive all the way across to the Atlantic Ocean through the Pyrenees.
Are you like a secret agent? What? I don't know anything about you.
Oh, you made him choke.
So
it's his respiratory
it's my respiratory
issue, or
I think I just called him out.
So we went to Bordeaux, and south of Bordeaux is Armagnac and Cognac, and it's a liqueur, and it's a very refined liqueur that can age 40 years and longer.
It's a brandy distilled from grapes, right? Yeah. So it's like instead of making wine, you're distilling grapes into a liquor.
Yeah.
Calvados is distilled from either apple or pear. So same thing. You're taking the base instead of, with whiskey, we're used to grains. This is liquor distilled from.
So we don't have any idea about percentages like the.
No, we do.
We do.
So how much 1928 Armagnac is in this?
We believe that 10% is in the Armagnac.
Is Armagnac.
30% Calvados. And then it says 60% straight rye whiskey. So I'm just wondering if they just kind of blended the three together, how they did that. But, I'll profess to say I don't know exactly, and they don't disclose exactly how they, what their science is behind it.
I mean, you have to get, so let's assume the oldest spirit in this blend is a 1928 Armagnac. I would imagine that's a pretty small part of it, right?
Yeah, but still, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Here's the other question that I have. So Kyle ordered this in October. He gets it in January. Where'd the rest of the bottle go?
Well, I've had a little bit.
Well,
yeah. Wait a minute.
Wait, this is
I got it this morning. It's
it is 70% gone.
Well, this, I mean, I don't want to ruin the surprise here, but I've enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
He had a good holiday.
I was like, is this all that's in the bottle when you get it? I mean, there's only like 30% in here.
The bottle was full.
Well, I'm going to ask our listeners, like, how many have actually had a drink of vodka? I mean, you can go to their website, and there are all kind of blends.
This is my first. I have seen it.
There have been some that are like $400 a bottle. There's some that are like $80 a bottle.
Same.
So what does this bottle run?
If you got the regular that they released, it was like 80, but I will say that it can run a lot higher for your single barrel.
I didn't pay more than, I don't remember, 100, 120.
So that's about right.
Yeah.
First of all, the bottle, this is a very unique bottle.
It's gorgeous. It's like art deco. It's cool.
It's art deco.
Yeah.
And you've got 1920, almost 100-year-old Armagnac, whatever percentage it is, and whatever. How in the world did you get that for $100?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because
nobody else is really doing it.
No one's doing it
for the damn barrels.
Yeah, and Armagnac is not. I mean, although Cognac and Armagnac, absolutely there are, but it's still not. I would say it's been steady over the last 20 years, where bourbon's gone through the roof, American whiskey's gone through the roof. It's just kind of steady. So
this is a barrel pick by Prov. There were only 72 bottles in the barrel.
Yeah.
Only 72, and we just had Prov on, and you're going to probably get that interview first, I guess, right? Before we do this, which is going to be amazing. And the fact that he puts his name on this, right, in the sense that he picked this barrel, I have a lot of. I'm excited about it.
We never even mentioned this to him. Like we didn't in our we could have gone another hour with him.
That's why we'll put it on after, right? In case we don't. But no, he has everything. He's put his hands on it, and he's staked his reputation. Has been great. So I'm excited about this. But when I was in France, I was hunting down Armagnacs wherever I went.
I thought you were trying to like find spies or something. No. I have no idea what you do for a living.
So the Armagnac, there's nothing better than sitting across from a castle that's lit up at night, out on a couch outside.
Now he's at a castle in Armagnac
and drinking
James Bond,
drinking an Armagnac. I mean, when you are in that environment. When you're in Cognac, you drink Cognac.
Oh, I love Cognac.
When you're in Armagnac in that area, you drink Armagnac.
All right. So Armagnac, what's the proof? Is it like a low proof liqueur?
No,
40 proof, 50 proof?
No, it's 80? I'd say it's 80 to 90. It's interesting. Cognac, and I've had more Cognac than Armagnac. It drinks hotter though, don't you think? Like
really?
Even a 90 proof, like it's a you get it. Typically, if you order one at a restaurant or whatever, which is usually where I've had it, they'll bring it out. Sometimes they'll heat it, and it's like it's in a it's neat. It's in a wider bottom glass, so unlike a Glencairn, it's like that wider Cognac glass, and it's like you gotta sip it. You're not
all right. So I have not tried it yet. I want your prediction.
You were going to appreciate.
I think you're going to like it.
But remember, we're taking Rye Whiskey MGP 5 years. And
we think MGP, right?
No, we do know actually.
We do. Okay.
I looked on the notes, and this one is MGP source, which makes sense. So we should get some spice, and let me tell you, I can already get like the figs and the plums on.
It's figs, plums, honey is like woo,
unbelievable, and that's going to be the finish.
So it's 104 proof.
Oh, was that right?
52 ABC.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't remember. Yeah. Yes, 50. Yeah, 104.
All right.
I think that's all the specs. Yep, those are all the specs. We're good.
All right. So on the nose, it reminds me of like
so good.
Well, hell yeah, it's good. 70% of the bottle's gone.
Oh, it's
you
really
showed up
good.
with like just a few drops for us.
If you think about like the Angel's Envy single barrel pick we just did, right, at 110 proof. This is really nice. It has a similar finish.
Oh, he likes it. He likes it, guys.
The fruit flavors are gorgeous.
This is not there's no single malt in here, so you should at least be open-minded to it. So this is good.
Why do I get single malt on the nose?
Do you? Oh, I don't on the nose. I get all like
I get lots
plum
of
and honey.
fruits and
I don't
honey.
I don't get
but
it. I mean, what
the reason is, Ben, you're not getting vanilla and caramel.
Well,
yeah,
you're
getting it's a lot of other stuff going on.
I got problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, what's your first take?
Oh, it's great. It's taking me back again to that drive through the Pyrenees.
What? Where the hell are you now?
We're in the same place. Yeah, he's in the same place.
But I was just there this summer, and I was on a hunt.
We're southern France.
I was on a hunt for Cognac and Armagnac, and
did you bring any back?
It's taking me back to that.
Okay.
It really is. Like in terms of like look for those flavors. And I thought, like sometimes I've had these barrel finished, rye whiskeys and others, and they're just too sweet. They're too this, they're too that,
Yep.
I don't get that here.
No,
it's
not at
really
all.
interesting.
Well, so
very nice.
It
Dries out nice on the end.
We should do. I assume you brought back some cognac and/or
Armagnac. Yeah.
We need to do
Several
one.
bottles.
We need to do one with Ben.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, I think what's beautiful about this is I think the rye softens some of the kind of harder edges of cognac and Armagnac. I think for people who are not used to it, it's like, whoa, that's a lot. I think the rye works really nicely where it's like, man, this is that.
The nose is delightful.
Did he just do one barrel?
I think so. I don't. Again, it's like 3 months ago that I bought it, so I don't remember.
But you can go online on Vodka, and they have 50 bottles listed.
Yeah, but I ain't going on an experiment. I don't want to.
Oh no, Prov will have it. They'll have. That's what when we interviewed them. I mean, they keep half of it back for the store, so I feel like you can always.
This sold out.
I mean, I don't know. I think the stuff he allocated to the group probably did, but I'm sure he still has bottles of this.
This is tasty. Because some of I won't call them like the non-desirable rye, where rye can really dominate a whiskey. The edges are so smoothed out by this.
That's what I'm saying. It's a nice blend where it's like the rye is smoothing out.
Yeah,
this is
the harder edges of cognac Armagnac or the Armagnac, and the whatever the blend, the Calvados is like smoothing out some of the like overwhelming components of rye that I don't always love. Sometimes with rye I'm like, that's a little much.
It's a little bit much, right? This is really good. This is like very special. I think that because vodka, this is what they're staking their reputation on. I thought it was a gimmick, kind of. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you're thinking about sourcing 80-year-old barrels or whatever, right? And you're finishing whiskey and you're blending, and then you're going to charge a very high price on some of this stuff.
Not this one.
Yeah, not this one.
That's kind of unusual. When you go on the site, you'll see what I mean. Some of the bottles are higher. They did release like this 1928, more of a blended version of it, where it was like around 70, like where you paid 70 plus to 80, $80 plus dollars plus tax or whatever like that. But this is pretty good. This is very unique. That's for sure.
That was my take. Like, it's hard to. It doesn't really comp to anything. I recognize people listening are gonna be like, "Well, thanks a lot, guys. What am I gonna do with this? I can't buy it." But I would say it's mind opening to me. On like,
it gives us an insight into vodka.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is exceptional. Like I honestly didn't think I was gonna like it.
I know you didn't.
Like you came in with this fancy bottle. And it's got some.
It's like that Jay-Z bottle, buddy.
It's got like Tiffany green or blue or whatever the hell that is.
It's pretty.
And it's very pretty.
Yeah.
And there were only 72. Okay. And I thought cute. And then I was like, man, it's almost all gone. So I know Kyle likes it, or at least somebody in Kyle's family likes it. Well, he doesn't have teenagers yet.
Yeah. My 11-year-old. No, she's not had this.
The CEO that runs this company for vodka, that's his name. He comes from Sazerac. I mean, so he knows they know what they're doing here. And you'll see, Ben, that like there may be bottles priced at north of 200 because of the type of barrels, like their rarity of the finish doesn't mean it's better. It becomes more of this. Remember the 4 pillars,
right?
Exclusivity and the rarity. So, I mean, part of the charge here is like, what do you pay for something like this more than, because they do have bottles that are hundreds of dollars, right? Based on exclusivity and the.
Well, yeah. And if you're getting a higher proportion or all of a 1928 Armagnac, you're not paying $100 for that.
No, you're going to pay hundreds.
I've never had Armagnac. I don't know. I didn't even know what it was till you guys told me. So I was just looking at, would I like vodka? I've seen it. Heard about it, didn't know exactly what it was. If this is what they're putting out, this is they're doing something different.
This is their main line too, right?
What do I like in it? Am I liking the rye?
No, again, I think it's the blend. I think to me, I can't speak for you, but it's like Joe and I were just saying, I think it like the blend kind of accentuates some of the best aspects of each spirit that's in there and removes some of the harder edges that make it less approachable.
Whoever blended it did a remarkable job.
Super weird too, right? Like I don't know that I've had Calvados before.
I mean, the fact that he went on a sabbatical to go find it came up with this epiphany and to go find some barrels.
Weird barrels. Of,
I
And
wish
bring 'em
I
back.
wish there was a lot more of this. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
they've got this blend, and this was just a great barrel that Prov picked. Maybe this is available online, but people need to try this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the 1928. It's out there, and you can find it reasonably. And let me look at the tribute. It is, I mean, it's a tribute to the Roaring Twenties. I have it in
Yeah.
here somewhere. And
Yeah, they talk about that, and that
Yeah.
makes sense with the
And-
bottle and everything.
in terms of like the real throwback of like all the, what the Roaring Twenties were about, and they were kind of going with that profile. And they call it the 1928. You will see variations of this 1928 out there that you can get reasonably for under $100 a bottle.
Yeah, I think
But I think one last thing, your rye question. When I think about the grained glass series from Heaven Hill,
Yep.
we were all talking about what we like best. I mean, Ben was hands down that rye. The barrel
Yeah.
at the end, barrel strength. I think you gravitate towards a good rye,
I do like good rye,
and that's part of what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
part is what Kyle's saying. Like, what do you do when you take a good rye and then you stick it in?
and I think a lot of these smaller distillers or smaller blenders are actually beating the big guys in the rye category.
yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good
And we
point.
can look at some of the ones we've had, the Oaklore and the various ryes.
Well, you think about the bureaucracy of these big distilleries.
Sagamore.
How do you
Sagamore's
phenomenal.
fantastic.
Those are
Well, and you can, and I think rye can shine younger than bourbon, and so that
Right.
helps too, right? With a newer distillery, like you can put a 4-year rye out, 5-year rye. That's fantastic.
And this is a 5-year rye. It's not
Yeah.
not a young rye.
I'm not sure you need to get
Older.
much older than
Nope.
that.
yeah,
No, this is good. God, this the sweet flavors on this. Like if I had a European cheese plate and I was drinking this, I'd be all over it. Man.
yeah,
Oh my God, all the flavors from the cheese with this because what would happen, Ben, is like those. When you think about, you ever wonder why figs and things like that are on a plate of cheese, right? Like this has all those flavors. You don't need any of the fruits or the
yeah. Just sit there and
Eat
just
the
hammer a
cheese.
bunch of cheese and drink 5 or 6 glasses of it.
Drink some Bhakta.
It's a good afternoon.
A damn good afternoon.
Listen, I could have this with Doritos. It is very good.
My God.
Some
That's pretty
some
funny.
nacho cheese.
I had Doritos last night. Nothing wrong with Doritos.
Nacho yo guy.
All right, man.
Okay.
So the only problem is I got to get more of this, and
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell I'm going to get it, but I'm going to have to go to
Well, I
France
think-
or Europe
yeah.
or wherever the hell I'm going to go to get some more of this.
I was gonna say the lesson. I mean, Prov
Yeah.
Sarov's amazing. Follow him, seek him out. But also, I think this is a huge recommendation for Bhakta in general. Even though we haven't had a lot of it, like this is expertly
Yeah.
done, and so it's
they're
worth
on
checking
my
out.
radar now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
worth checking out there.
It's on mine. And again, over the holidays, I mean, I was in DC and Anna's neighbor, they always, at nighttime, they like to sit out on the porch and drink bourbon. They're all excited when I get there to talk about bourbon podcast and all this stuff. What's new and this and that. And they brought up vodka.
Did they really?
They're like, do you know about vodka? Like, because it's part of that like Advent calendar bourbon and rye rolled whiskeys or whatever. Vodka was one of those, and I'm like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. But then when I got back, Kyle's like, hey, I got this single barrel. Let's do a proof positive. I would say you can go to their website, thevodka.com or whatever it is, and there's a whole number of whiskeys, and then they link you up with how you can buy it. So, like I would say, you
Check it out.
check it out for sure. Just check it out and see what they're doing.
BHAKTA.
Yep.
Vodka.
Vodka.
I'm shocked.
Me too.
I thought I was going to hate it. I was convinced I was going to hate it. It came in a fancy bottle, and there was all kinds of stuff that I can't pronounce, much less have never tried. And I tried it and loved it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I love
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
You
Yeah.
finally, you hit a home run today.
I brought you a
Damn.
weird bottle that you liked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You did, and you didn't have to lug it from
that's right.
East Asia.
Exactly.
I need to find out if there's more of this somewhere. I
We
know
think
probably
we think
Prov,
there is.
but
Yeah,
maybe there's
online. Yeah,
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So it's like 6 thumbs up.
6 thumbs.
If
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
more thumbs, I would give
obviously.
it more thumbs. This is one you got to try, and let me know if you try it and you hate it. Message me if you try it and love it. Message me. Go to bourbonpodcast.com. Download our newsletter. We'll have lots of pictures of Joe on there.
Kyle's better looking, I think. I don't know. He's got a better
About
voice
that.
than me.
Anyway, we've got
Voice for radio.
We've got a really cool newsletter comes out every Friday. Of course, we release our episodes on Thursdays, except for Whiskey of the Year. We released on a Tuesday because they didn't want to compete with the New Year. But this was an interesting proof positive for me.
Me as well.
And I
mean,
stand corrected. All these preconceived thoughts and notions that I had are.
Thank you.
I was wrong.
I accept your apology.
It reminds, Kyle has this habit. He brings he brought the Huberts, right?
Yeah.
Finished an Amburana, and I was like, what the hell? And this was a year ago. But I mean, like, Kyle, hats off to you. And maybe it's because of your relationship with Prof.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a big part of it. But it's like I do enjoy bringing it into our podcast. These like somewhat random.
But how did you must be high up in the club to get one of 72 bottles?
No, with the way the club works, if there's something you are seeking, you got to be kind of fast on the draw, right? So when I don't, I mean, he releases stuff all the time, and there's a lot of stuff. I mean,
so what'd you do? Go to his house and beg him or something?
Yeah, that's right. Let's not talk about the details, but nonetheless, no, but. If there are things that really catch my interest, I will like be on top of it and make sure I get one.
But they're releasing so much. I mean, he does so many picks.
Yeah, he's doing one a week basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not he doesn't do
this.
Weekly,
this would not have been on my radar. And I'm in the club, and I didn't ask.
Well, I almost need to go back. And I know we need to end this episode. I almost need to go back and look at like because something about it hit me where I was like, oh, I got to get one because I don't buy one a week. I buy like 5 a year.
Did they do barrel picks for like if Bourbon Podcast want to do a barrel pick?
I don't know.
Vodka?
I don't know.
I think they probably do. Now, I mean, in any state that you're in, if you're wondering if it's being sold there, first the state's got to have it registered properly.
That's right.
You got to find a way.
I've
to
never
get
seen
there.
it on a shelf here,
and it's not here. It's not registered. And if we wanted to do it, we'd have to go through that whole process to pick it to get it here legally.
It's a simple system.
But having said that, there is an online mechanism to purchase this. That 1928 is the kind of quote it's a broader brand. They do some single barrels, some blends, and so that's why I was saying if you go to their website, it kind of links you to places that you can purchase it.
Okay.
I think, look, it's just bringing back like really good memories of my drive
through the Pyrenees
in France.
Heck yeah,
honestly, God, and it's kind of the Armagnac in particular. I can kind of pick that out of there.
I'll close with
even
this.
Though it's 10%.
For me, we have to do a proof positive on an Armagnac or cognac with Ben.
Let's do it.
Oh, God.
I'll bring it.
You're setting me up for failure.
It's so. I mean, they're fantastic.
They are.
Yeah.
But
Thanks.
one of each, right?
Yeah, one of each.
All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in if you stayed to the end.
Yeah. If you're still here.
Thanks, everybody.
Yourself in here tonight, darling. Let's get you back to some of that light that shine. Get you some of that.